But definitely when they took 2 point guards, you're sitting in the green room like, all right, that's weird. Like, what's the plan there? And why am I still sitting here? Obviously, I only had about 8 minutes to think about that.
How could a franchise with not one, but two high draft picks in 2009 walk away from a college sensation destined to change basketball? It sounds almost impossible, especially when the Minnesota Timberwolves, armed with consecutive picks during one of the most talent-rich drafts ever, passed on a player whose long-range precision and unorthodox style had college crowds buzzing. Back then, a young Stephen Curry was dazzling at Davidson. Yet, on that fateful draft day, the Wolves made a choice that would echo throughout the league. Today, we're peeling back the layers of that historic decision, uncovering not just the hard facts, but also the quiet whispers of rumors and controversies that have kept this misstep in the spotlight. Stay with us as we reveal the story of missed opportunities and choices that continue to haunt the franchise. To understand the magnitude of the decision, it's crucial to step back to the 2009 NBA draft, a moment when the league was brimming with promise and uncertainty. The draft was a roller coaster of potential, with teams all around the country scrambling to secure the next big star. In this chaotic environment, Stephen Curry emerged as a beacon of hope for many scouts and fans. Despite not fitting the traditional mold of an NBA superstar, given his relatively slight frame and unpolished athletic profile, Curry's shooting prowess was undeniable. He was a pioneer, a player who could launch deep three-pointers from almost anywhere on the court, reshaping what teams believed possible from beyond the arc.
You're going to be in 10 years. What kind of player are you going to be?
10 years, I want to be known as a true professional, a guy that played the game the right way. Hopefully still in the league and still effective in the league. There's not many people that last in double-digit years, so it starts now and building a foundation for later on down the road.
At a time when physical dominance and traditional athleticism were highly prized, Curry's innovative approach was both fascinating and puzzling. Meanwhile, the Wolves found themselves in a unique position. With back-to-back picks at their disposal, they had the rare opportunity to shape their future by selecting a potential game-changer. Yet, in the midst of a talent-laden draft, conventional wisdom and a myriad of doubts would soon steer them away from Curry. When the Timberwolves evaluated Stephen Curry, a host of concerns seemed to dominate the conversation. Critics pointed to his slight build and questioned whether his unorthodox style would hold up against the physicality of the NBA. Many scouts doubted that his limited athleticism would allow him to thrive on the defensive end or withstand the constant barrage of contact at the professional level. Beyond the physical, there were whispers that Curry might not be a good cultural fit for Minnesota, a small market with harsh winters and fewer off-court opportunities compared to larger cities. Some insiders speculated that his family might prefer a warmer, more glamorous destination where personal branding and lifestyle could flourish. In the midst of this uncertainty stood David Kahn, the newly appointed general manager tasked with making a decision that could either catapult the franchise into the future or seal its fate. Under immense pressure to deliver an immediate impact, Kahn opted for what he believed was the safer, more traditional choice, a decision rooted in a deep-seated reliance on conventional scouting metrics. In retrospect, it appears that fear of the unknown outweighed the potential for revolutionary change. With the decision to pass on Curry, the Wolves redirected their focus to alternatives they deemed more secure. With the 5th overall pick, Minnesota selected Ricky Rubio, a young talent from Spain, known for his exceptional court vision and playmaking abilities.
With the 5th pick in the 2009 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Ricky Rubio of El Masnou, Spain, and Juventud Badalona.
Rubio had already made headlines during the 2008 Olympic Games, where his precocious talent and flashy passing earned him international acclaim. Then, with their next pick, the Wolves chose Johnny Flynn from Syracuse University, a relatively obscure choice in comparison to the electrifying performances of Curry at Davidson. While Rubio was celebrated for his ability to orchestrate an offense and Flynn was seen as a potential floor general, neither player carried the transformative spark that Curry would later ignite. In hindsight, these selections serve as painful reminders of what might have been. Rubio's career, while promising at times, never fully blossomed into the franchise-altering role that many had hoped for, and Flynn's impact dwindled into relative obscurity. The stark contrast between these players and the later emergence of Curry as the NBA's greatest shooter is a testament to the perils of a risk-averse approach. As seasons passed and the NBA landscape continued to evolve, the consequences of that 2009 draft decision became painfully clear. Stephen Curry, once an underdog with a revolutionary shot, blossomed into a transcendent figure who would redefine basketball. His extraordinary shooting range, relentless work ethic, and ability to change the way teams play defense turned him into a two-time MVP and four-time champion. Curry didn't just excel on the court, he transformed the very nature of the game, forcing teams across the league to rethink their defensive schemes and offensive strategies. In stark contrast, the Timberwolves have struggled to escape the shadow of that decision. The misstep not only robbed the franchise of a generational talent, but also set off a cascade of poor draft decisions that have plagued the organization ever since. Subsequent selections, such as those in 2010 and 2011, have only deepened the sense of regret among fans and analysts who now see the Wolves' woes as part of a broader pattern of missed opportunities and mismanagement. The legacy of passing on Curry is one of what-ifs, a constant reminder of a moment when fear of the unconventional cost a franchise a future icon. Layered on top of the concrete facts of that historic day are the persistent rumors and controversies that continue to fuel debate. Among the most enduring are the claims that the Wolves' decision was influenced by factors beyond basketball IQ alone. Some reports suggest that Curry's family and agent were not entirely sold on the idea of playing in a cold, small-market city like Minneapolis, a place that, compared to larger markets, offered fewer opportunities for building a personal brand and enjoying a high-profile lifestyle. There were even murmurs that Curry's love for golf and a more relaxed lifestyle clashed with Minnesota's notoriously brutal winters and limited off-court appeal. These speculations, though never confirmed, added fuel to the criticism aimed at the Wolves' front office. Critics argued that by playing it safe, the Timberwolves not only overlooked a revolutionary talent, but also sent a message that they were unwilling to take bold risks in an era when innovation was beginning to reshape the league. Even as David Kahn later defended his choices by invoking comparisons to backcourt legends of yesteryear, the chorus of dissent grew louder with each passing season, reinforcing the notion that one man's risk-averse vision had left a permanent stain on the franchise's history. At the heart of this narrative is David Kahn, whose tenure as the Wolves' general manager is forever intertwined with that fateful decision. Stepping into his role amidst enormous pressure to deliver quick results, Kahn's choices were scrutinized from every angle. In his defense, he argued that the modern NBA still valued traditional athleticism and that a player with Curry's unconventional profile might simply not survive the rigors of the professional game. Kahn's rationale rested on comparisons to past eras when physical dominance and conventional playmaking were prized above all else. Yet, as the years rolled on and Stephen Curry's star ascended to legendary status with the Warriors, Kahn's logic began to crumble. His insistence on adhering to outdated scouting metrics now appears painfully short-sighted, a decision that not only derailed a promising franchise, but also became a case study in the perils of ignoring innovative talent. Kahn's later attempts to rationalize his picks by drawing parallels to historic backcourts have done little to quell the widespread sentiment that his decision was a monumental error, a turning point that contributed to the Wolves' ongoing struggles.
And then I was next, so it was just different. I always laughed too because there was like this article that came out by David Kahn, who was the GM at the time. And like obviously it's revisionist history. It's like my 4th or 5th year in the league. It's like, oh, why didn't Minnesota pick me over, those two guys when they took 2-point guards? And the line was like, oh, he knew how much I like golf, and Minnesota's too cold, so I wouldn't have been happy there as a basketball player knowing I couldn't play golf throughout the year. I said, ooh, that's a reach right there. Yeah. That's a certified reach.
And next up on this episode, we should play the game that Chuck plays on TNT. Where is he now? Because wherever he is now.
Imagine for a moment a different scenario. one in which the Wolves recognized the spark in Stephen Curry and decided to take a chance on him. How might the trajectory of the Minnesota franchise have changed? With Curry's extraordinary ability to stretch defenses and change the flow of the game, the Wolves could have been transformed overnight.
I don't know how this guy makes this shot. Davion Mitchell, folks, is an excellent defensive player. It's an awkward, release. Was he looking to draw contact here? Was it, as you said, he lost control of the ball? How does that go in?
A Curry-led team might have ended Minnesota's long, agonizing playoff drought and instilled a renewed sense of hope among fans. Instead, the decision to pass on Curry not only deprived the Wolves of a future superstar, but also set the stage for a series of missteps that have defined the franchise for over a decade. The ramifications extend far beyond individual statistics. They have altered the very identity of the team. As the Warriors built a dynasty around Curry's genius, the Wolves have struggled to assemble a coherent, competitive unit. The missed opportunity stands as a stark reminder that in professional sports, one pivotal decision can reshape the fortunes of an entire organization for years to come. The contrasting fortunes of the Golden State Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves could not be more dramatic. While the Warriors seized upon Curry's talents and built one of the most innovative and dominant teams in NBA history, the Wolves have become synonymous with draft misfires and a cautious approach that has left them perpetually on the outside looking in. Curry's impact on the game has been nothing short of revolutionary. His ability to hit deep shots from seemingly impossible angles forced teams across the league to adapt, ushering in a new era of spacing and pace. The Warriors' transformation into a perennial contender and championship dynasty is a direct result of embracing risk and innovation. In contrast, the Wolves' reluctance to deviate from conventional wisdom has left them with a legacy marred by regret and what-ifs. A franchise forever haunted by the thought of what might have been. In the final analysis, the story of how the Wolves passed on Steph Curry twice is a multifaceted saga of missed opportunities, risk aversion, and evolving perceptions of talent. It is a cautionary tale that underscores the importance of embracing innovation, even when it challenges established norms. Curry's meteoric rise from an underdog with an unconventional game to the greatest shooter of all time serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes the boldest moves are the ones that pay off in ways no one could have predicted. For Minnesota, that 2009 draft decision remains a painful what if, a turning point that still reverberates through the organization. Yet, amid the regret, there is a lesson to be learned. In an era defined by rapid evolution and shifting paradigms, clinging to the past can cost a team its future. As the Timberwolves work to rebuild and reimagine their identity through modern analytics and smarter draft choices, one can only hope that they learn from history. The ultimate question remains: can the Wolves ever overcome the shadow of that fateful day, or will the legacy of passing on a once-in-a-generation talent continue to define them? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation as we explore one of the NBA's most enduring mysteries. After all, in the world of sports, sometimes the biggest risk is not taking one at all.